That looks good. A nice slice of margarita pizza. Have a seat. And I want you to take a bite. Enjoy your slice.
You just invite me to have a seat in my own house, but thank you, Sim.
I already had a slice, and it was lovely. Thank you for inviting all of us to your home and providing us with pizza.
Food and beverage.
Yes. You seem disappointed by that.
I'm not disappointed.
You're feeding a bunch of people here, and we all appreciate it, and I'm thanking you for it.
No, I appreciate you appreciating it, Sim.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
All right,
I
so
just wonder at what point, like...
What point you're going to stop feeding me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do enjoy
No,
it.
I won't. Oh.
So,
right.
Laura, right now we are going to get to the feedback. So we're hearing from Hannah, right? And this is from the Tony Hale episode. Anna, if you remember, this guy ghosted her twice. We're going to hear a little bit of a little recap anyways. Danielle, tell us what's happening with this male friend of yours that recently came back into your life.
We met in the beginning of college, and when we first met on this project, we were friends, but then towards the end, we kind of realized we had this chemistry, and he vocalized interest in dating me. The problem was I was on the East Coast in New York, and he lived on the West Coast. So when we both got back to school, all of a sudden, he told me he didn't know what he wanted anymore. So then a little time went by, and we were both at a party, and we hooked up. So then after that, I got ghosted, and then he found out I was studying abroad in LA, and he texted me offering help if I needed it, and he kept talking to me. He apologized for being awful and leading me on. One thing led to another, and we made out on this beach at sunset in California, and currently we're still texting, but he's back east, and I'm in California, and I don't want to be played again or led on.
Let's hear her feedback. Let's hear Hannah's feedback.
Hi, Anna and Sim. My name's Hannah. I'm a huge fan of the show and just want to give my 2 cents on Danielle's situation from the Tony Hale episode. So first, as soon as she said he has ghosted her twice, my face went into my palm. I think when you're looking for someone to have a relationship with, you do not let your desire blind you from what you deserve. You could be fantasizing about an idea of what you want, but from the sounds of this guy, you will not find it with him. So being with someone who is unsure of themselves is a roller coaster, and the highs are really high and the lows are very low. And as long as you stay invested in someone who is emotionally unbalanced, you will be riding that roller coaster with them. And sadly, the fact of the matter is I don't think you can do anything about that. And they have to be the ones who seek the change. So continuing to allow this person to talk to you on his terms will only start a repetitive cycle. When he gets bored, his eyes are going to wander elsewhere. And when elsewhere is nowhere, his eyes will wander back to you. Only ever accept the love you know you deserve. You want to be in love with someone and in love with the way they treat you. The guy Danielle mentioned doesn't seem to have good intentions since he is inconsistent with his actions towards her. And I think she needs to find someone who truly loves her and not maybe. Do not waste your time any longer because this won't teach you anything except to prohibit anything like this from happening again. Wait until you find someone who's all in, who you don't have to spend your time questioning and wondering about. Someone who brings good things and stability into your life and makes things easier for you, not harder. You want to be with someone who puts you and your relationship first, and I promise, Danielle, you will find them. But you're not going to find it while you're wasting your time on someone who's not reciprocating what you're giving. And keeping this guy in your life is only taking up space for someone who could treat you 1,000 times better. And I've seen way too many of my friends waste years on the wrong people, and the entire time deep down they knew it wasn't right. They just couldn't get away. So the longer you wait, the more painful the ending, and my advice is to cut it off, yesterday. But thank you, Anna and Sim. I'm loving how you're splitting the episodes into 2 parts. It keeps my work week way more exciting. Love you guys.
I think Hannah just completely embodied and articulated the spirit of of protecting your heart. Mm-hmm. And Hannah, thank you so much. That was so beautifully said. And I so appreciate you taking the time to respond, and I know that our dear listeners will as well, and I just so appreciate it.
Thank you, Hannah.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Intuit, powering products like TurboTax, QuickBooks, Mint, and Credit Karma. Intuit works for what you work for, and it was only recently that I found out they were working for me. I've been using QuickBooks for years and more recently began using Mint, which is an easy way to create monthly budgets. It was a bit surprising to realize how much I could save by learning how to make coffee. With Intuit, artificial intelligence can predict your future cash flow, recognize a misplaced digit in an account or routing number, and even connect users with live experts who can assist with navigating life changes or help with unique tax situations. Everything is automatically organized as you track your personal or business expenses by scanning receipts, invoices, and other financial documents, while smart budgeting tools let you know before you overspend. Innovative features like these make managing your finances simple, but as you probably already knew, innovation is at the core of everything Intuit does. Discover how Intuit's products can help you see what's possible at intuit.com. That's INTUIT.com. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by The Pill Club. Do you need to renew your birth control prescription? Want to switch your birth control? Maybe try it for the first time. Whether you know the brand you want or you're looking for help finding the best option, the Pill Club medical team has your back. With the Pill Club, you'll never have to make a trip to the doctor or wait in line at the pharmacy. The Pill Club is a birth control subscription prescribed by a medical professional and delivered straight to your door for free in discreet packaging. The Pill Club carries over 120 FDA-approved brands. Most brands of birth control are free with insurance or Medicaid. Otherwise, prices start as low as $7 per month without insurance. Right now, when you go to thepillclub.com/unqualified, the Pill Club is offering a $10 donation to bedsider.org for every unqualified listener who becomes a patient. Your donation will help low-income individuals get access to birth control through bedsider.org. That's thepillclub.com/unqualified to get your first birth control care package. That's thepillclub.com/unqualified to get your first birth control care package and donate to help more women in need of affordable birth control. Remember, thepillclub.com/unqualified. You must use the link to make a donation.
She was so cute.
I like that ring.
Oh, thank you.
Usually when I compliment people,
Thank you.
they give them to me.
Thank you. Yes.
So you're not gonna
it's
give that?
Cubix accordion. So.
All right. We'll find out later. Oh, sorry. Thank you. I don't know.
These are fancier than ours. This setup is much fancier than ours, Anna.
I know. We're out of our league.
Yeah.
You know what I was listening to on the way over here? Little Kim, the Jump Off.
Oh.
I like to drive with my windows down, and which embarrasses Sim when he rides.
Because
with
everyone
me.
recognizes you, and you're in a Tesla. First of all,
fuck
and
you.
you're
No.
You just gotta ride with it, dude. Just hit the sprinkler.
You're throwing.
Fuck it. I'm gonna throw that shit right back. Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
She back.
Why
wouldn't she be?
You gotta own that shit, dude.
right.
Hey, okay, Kobe. Here's the things that I want to talk to you about, and I know we're going to talk to you about your book. But so I don't really know much about sports, but I am fascinated by the idea of it. And I work in, I know it's like a tangent, but I work in a multicam world where you pretty much get two chances to do your scene the way you want to do it. And then we move on. So oftentimes you leave the scene feeling like, God, did I hit that right? I don't know, which feels, of course, what it must be like to be a professional athlete. And so like that kind of pressure, especially with basketball, because NBA has the longest running, like 82 games.
It's a long journey.
Baseball is probably longer.
Baseball is longer, but basketball is the quicker turnarounds in between.
So how, at game 56 of a season, how do you keep morale up? Personally and within a team?
Yeah, you focus on the moment. You know, you just focus on where you are right here, right now, in this practice right here, right now. And you don't think about the end journey, or you don't think about the journey that you've already been on. You got to really try to keep everybody locked in. And the way to do that is not to tell everybody, okay, just focus on what we're doing now. Because when you tell somebody that, you're automatically going to think about the opposite.
Right.
Right. So you speak in very factual basketball terms. Tonight we're in Memphis. We're playing the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies like running a screen roll set. This is how we're going to cover that. This is how we're going to do this. You just
So
keep
it's like
everything.
not putting the pressure on to like being careful with the acceleration of pressure.
Yes. You just focus on the here and now. That's it.
And do you find that like that works? Did that work really well with like the freshmen of the Lakers?
It was a lot harder for the
This
young
is
guys.
how I don't-
No, it's
this
fine.
is what
It works though. But it works though. Like freshman, rookie, it's same. Tomato, man. It's all good.
And then like what happens when you've got a young rookie who maybe has a healthy ego? I mean, is there like how do you cultivate the idea of a team?
Yeah. Well, the important thing is, what we tried to do is understand, and Phil Jackson was really masterful at this, is understanding that everybody does have individual goals and individual aspirations. That's fine. Right. Our trick is to figure out how do you achieve those individual goals within our team concept and within what we are trying to do as a team. We're not getting you to say, okay, that's a goal. Nah, don't worry about that. Put that stuff to the side. It's not being a responsible teammate. Our job is to help you achieve those, but help you achieve those within our system.
We maybe a year and a half ago we had Terry Crews on our podcast, and he talked about something that I thought was really fascinating because he got traded, and so he talked about he talked about a few things, the cult of masculinity, which was really interesting. We don't have to really go into that if you don't want to.
Yeah, no,
but
it's a thing.
But when he talked about that very eloquently, and he also talked about being viewed as a commodity and sort of the disillusionment in terms of like what as a player in terms of loyalty towards a team and how much emotional investment do you have when you could potentially be traded and you played for the Lakers your whole run, right?
Yep.
Which is so rare.
Lucky.
Today,
Right.
It doesn't happen like that.
No.
Today.
No.
That's why you're wearing that nice coat.
That's right. It's velvet. No.
The Lakers are like, we gotta kick you. Fuck yeah.
It's because of the my fashion sense. No, I think you got to be lucky as a player, and I was certainly lucky to come to an organization. That was a class
I think you're being
organization.
incredibly modest.
No, but there's been players who have had like great careers, great players, but then towards the end of the run, the team's like, all right, yeah, thank you, that was awesome, get out.
Right.
And that didn't happen because of the organization that I'm with.
Right.
And so I was very, very fortunate. A lot of other athletes out there haven't been as lucky.
Well, and I would imagine too that your leadership on the team because you had played for like that must have infiltrated like a solid team mentality, which I think it's especially with something like basketball. And this is where I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, I don't anyway in general, but I would think that with basketball, because you play so many games and because the teams are smaller, and the containment of a basketball court is smaller, that you have to develop, strong, I don't know, relationships or strong, like a strong sense of.
Yeah, you have a great community, but the thing about basketball, which is beautiful, is I remember sitting on a plane ride, with the team, all just kind of playing a game of cards. And all of a sudden you start talking about politics, you start talking about religion, and you start understanding how everybody has different points of view on all of them, literally on all of them. Right. And I'm sitting there like, wow, this is amazing that you can actually have those different points of view. But guess what? You bond together for something greater than yourselves. And that's the beauty about basketball. That's the beauty about sports, is that you have to be able to put those individual differences to the side and focus on what are you going to do collectively and have respect for each other to be able to accomplish a task.
What, like if you're shooting a free throw?
Yeah, that's it.
Was that like your, like on a scale of 1 to 10 enjoyment level?
I enjoyed it. It was like a 10 for me. Cause it's
Really?
like, because those are like easy points. Like I should not miss free throws. But then like when you go on a road and you have people like putting all kinds of signs up, like trying to distract you and stuff.
So do you have did you have like a breathing, like how the fuck did you just concentrate on?
Yeah. Consistency. Like I changed like every year kind of depending on like what I felt like, but generally it was like 2 dribbles, hold the ball, nice deep breath, just focus on the rim, shoot it. right? But like it's fun because people were trying to distract you and
Yeah.
they're waving, and
So
I always found that funny.
I love it that right now, listeners, Kobe has this massive grin on his face.
Oh, man, it's so fun.
It's like, yeah, that's
crazy.
That's when you fucking know you're good. When you're like, I like under that kind of pressure, I got this
Yo,
shit.
it should be a bucket. It should be a bucket. But like, I never understood the noise thing. Like people are like, oh, we're going to make so much noise that the thing, you know,
And
it's going to be
they're
hard.
waving those-
And it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
throw
Yeah.
you?
No, I've never seen a yell block a jump shot. Like it's not going to do it.
Who are some of your favorite players like that maybe aren't your contemporaries?
Well, I mean, I studied the game like all the way back to like the inception of the game, like crazy stuff.
And your dad was a professional basketball player.
My
in
dad
Italy.
played in Italy. Like my uncle played for the Chicago Bulls a long time ago. And so I have a basketball family. So like I studied everything about the game, like all the way back to when James Naismith first created the game. Like a total basketball dork.
in like 1463.
Close. I know. But you know, when you look at like the history of the game or the history of anything, you start identifying patterns in those things, or you start seeing moves that were done a long time ago that still work to this day. So it's like studying classical performances and looking at, you know, how this actress delivered this line, actor delivered this line. And then you find different variations that deliver in the same line, and you just work on things over and over and over and over and over. But like by studying the past, it helps you better.
Yeah,
Prepare
sure,
for the
sure.
future,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So what, like, who do you think is the most undervalued? Like, not like team wise and like off, like the people that we don't see. Who's undervalued? Do you think?
Yeah, can I actually ask a follow-up question on that, Anna?
Maybe
Because
If
I
you
was always
approve of my
wondering, speaking of value, I always wondered like who becomes the team leader, who becomes the captain. Like I know in hockey, the best player isn't necessarily the captain of the team. It's usually the person who's the leader within the clubhouse.
Yeah.
In basketball and in baseball, it's usually the person with the biggest stats, the most high profile. He's designated the captain, but he may not necessarily be the team leader. How does it work in basketball? If someone isn't playing well on the court, but yet you know that inside the locker room, he's an amazing presence and who is respected by all of his teammates. How does management view that? How do the players view that? You know, he's not pulling his weight on the court, but yet we do need him inside. Did you ever wrestle with that ever?
No, not at all. Because, you know, everybody has an important role to deliver. I mean, it sounds cheesy to say, but it's the absolute truth. And everybody's role is just as important as the next man. You know what I mean? So even though we had captains on the team, it wasn't like we were subscribing to it, like, oh my God, you know, we're captains. Like everybody delivers something different. You know, the way I led was then balanced out by the way Pau Gasol led, which is then balanced out by how Derek Fisher and Lamar Odom led, and all the way down to like Adam Morrison. And all of these guys having different things that they bring to the table in different ways that make the machine go.
I was going to go with caterer, like
Caterer.
craft service person, like the
Well,
people who are like providing nourishment and happiness.
All right, so check this out. So like not even so at the start of the season, I went and I called from Bill Belichick to come out and speak to the Patriots, right? So I go out and speak to the Patriots, and they walk me through the cafeteria and all sorts of stuff. And then they tell me that they put the healthy foods, the things that they really want the players to eat, right at the entrance of the cafeteria.
So of course, so you fill up your plate with that. Yeah.
Especially for the rookies. The rookies are running
so
late.
smart.
They're running late to meetings and stuff, and they got to get there. They're going to grab the first thing. All right, well, that's the
So
first
there's
thing.
not enough room for the cheesecake.
The cheesecake is all the way over there, buddy. And you got
Yeah.
30 seconds to get
Yep.
your butt in the meeting before
Yep.
Belichick finds you. So
Yep, only one plate. No,
that's it.
you're done.
That's it. I'm gonna grab an apple.
My kale
Grab
salad.
That apple. Yeah, give me that kale.
Wait, but I do want to ask you. I know, but about players that you like, maybe two players that you really admired, and why?
Well, Michael Jordan and Magic. Those were my two favorite guys of all time, and all for different things. You know, the way Magic played, the kind of infectious enthusiasm that he played with. You know, smile and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And Michael was just a stone cold killer.
Yeah.
I mean, like he literally terrified people. I mean, it was the funniest thing in the world.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Best Fiends.
We all know there really is only one match 3 style game worth playing. It's the one with an actual storyline, cool collectible characters, and non-stop action-packed adventure. It's the one with literally thousands of challenging puzzles to solve. And yes, I'm using the word literally correctly. Of course, I'm talking about best fiends. You meet your best fiends early in their careers. They don't have much experience, but they have heart. I recognized a little piece of myself in each of them. And so I began to assemble the perfect team. I watched them grow as we solved puzzle after puzzle, working hard and playing hard. Today, my best fiends are ready to go anytime and anywhere. I'm really proud of what they have become. With new challenges and levels added all the time, there's never a boring moment. So download Best Fiends free today on the App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends. This episode is brought to you in part by Plant Botanical. As everyone slowly comes out of hiding, many of you are asking the same questions. Am I ready for actual human contact? Should I swipe right? Will they look like their picture? Do I look like my picture? Is that the face of an axe murderer? Do I really want to take off these sweats? And for those of you who get that far, what drink should I be casually sipping? I have the answer to that one. While your date sits awkwardly silent, stunned by your good looks, dazzled by your intellect, or wondering how to dispose of your body, the drink in your hand should be delicious, refreshing, crisp, clean, Plant Botanical Vodka Seltzer. Weighing in at only 1 carb, made with real fruit and botanicals traditionally used for stamina, immunity, and detox, Plant Botanical is already thinking about your future encounters. Follow and DM at Plant Loves You and share a story or video of your funniest, wildest, or most awkward date for a chance to win up to $1,000 for your next one. Plant Botanical, your perfect companion while you look for your perfect companion. Available at Target, Pavilions, Vons, Total Wine, or visit plantlovesyou.com to find a store near you. Plant Vodka and Vodka Seltzer. Just the good shit. What other sport, would you do? Speaking of, is that such a fucking lame question?
No, I played a lot of sports. Yeah. I played soccer growing up because I grew up in Italy, so I played a lot of soccer.
Where in Italy did you grow up?
We moved around. So my father played for 4 different teams.
That must have been lonely. Was it lonely?
Nah,
when you first got there?
When I first got there, because I didn't understand a damn thing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
I go to the park to play basketball, and all these kids out there playing soccer on a basketball court. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah.
But after a while, you make friends and it's all good. But we bounced around from city to city, though.
Yeah, I would just imagine that was, I attempted to study. I didn't really study when I was in college.
Italian?
Yeah.
That's a fun language, though.
Oh, it was.
Wait, Anna, but you can say a few things in Italian.
Yeah.
Kobe speaks fluently.
Yeah, all right. Parlo, ma non bene. Perché ho studiato a Siena,
sì.
ma 20 anni fa.
20 anni fa.
20
Bello, ma italiano è
Grazie,
molto bene.
mille.
Sì,
Grazie
brava,
mille.
brava.
Yes, except the truth is that I didn't study there 20 years ago. I studied there, I think, 27 years ago. I just don't know how to say 27.
Let's not argue over semantics.
Just shaving a couple of
it's fine.
years off.
You're
Okay,
rounded.
will you tell us about your book? So, the Wizenard. Am I saying that
That's
correctly?
it.
The Wizenard.
That's it.
It's awesome. It's this series, and it will become a series
Yeah, it is a series. This is the first
installment.
first
of it?
series of it. Yeah.
And it's about a group of kids that are sort of hard. They've had the hard luck kids or whatever, and they become great basketball players,
Yep.
And they have a special coach with powers.
Yeah, he's a magical coach.
Phil Jackson.
Yeah,
Like,
Phil
based on
Jackson-esque.
Phil.
Phil Jackson-esque. Him and John Wooden.
Oh,
I got
great.
a lot of inspiration from Phil Jackson, John Wooden, and Bill Russell for this character. But it's a basketball book. But the most important thing is that each kid has his own inner fears and things that they've struggled with, that they've either consciously buried or subconsciously buried. And those personal things are keeping them from reaching their full potential, not only as basketball players, but as young men. right? And for a lot of times for us young men, we are taught that being vulnerable is a sign of weakness, when in actuality, it is a source of your greatest strength. And these young men have to be able to deal with that and figure out, have the bravery to face those inner things. And then when they do that, then they can reach their full potential as young men.
Don't you think that I think you're right. I have a 6-year-old son, and Sim has a newborn, 4-month-old.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Man.
Yeah, he's smiling, but do you see what's behind that smile right now?
Lack of sleep.
Pain. There's a lot of pain.
Very, very true.
He's not getting laid.
Yeah. Well, there's a window. There's a window there, and then it's all good. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Thanks, Kobe.
Hang in there, man.
He's like,
Hang in there.
You just told Kobe Bryant that I'm not getting laid.
He's like, what the hell's going on right now? What is happening right now?
Yeah, seriously, what is that? I can't believe this is all. I'm just such a huge fan, and I can't believe this is happening right now. And now Kobe knows my sex life. This is great. I love it.
But
so surreal.
But like thinking about how to teach my son to express emotion and to be okay with that. And at that shifting period, like, 13, 14, when young men start to shut down because it's because we've socialized them to not express, to be tough or whatever, to like pick yourself up. And my mom actually kind of raised me a bit like that. And I don't cry. I'm not even sure I have tear ducts, but I think it was good in a sense for me to pursue acting when it feels like, okay, how do I face rejection time after time after time and still want to pursue my dream? But at the same time, I think that that young men are. It's unfortunate that emotional expression is discouraged.
It sure is, and the thing about it is you can't tell them to be emotional.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So the way to do that is through creativity. If you can see these young men in this story go through that progression and understand how that helps them to become stronger, and you see it through fantasy, you see it through magic, it just becomes a part of culture. That's the most important thing.
You're right. Because reading, I believe, helps develop empathy.
Sure.
And I think that's what your book does. Because I think when you can use your own imagination to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you become a more, developed person.
Which is extreme. I mean, like for any team, you have to be able to have empathy and compassion for others, or you can't have a team. And for these kids, it's, empathy and compassion, true empathy and compassion really does first start with self-acceptance. You have to accept the fears, accept the insecurities that you yourself have.
Yeah.
Then you can do whatever you want with them. You can walk hand in hand with them. You can choose to fight them, whatever the case may be.
With my insecurities?
Yeah, insecurities, all of that stuff.
I have to walk hand in hand with my insecurities.
Or not.
Shit.
Right? But it's your choice. It's your choice. And for these kids, it's like, okay, well, I just went through a hell of a journey, emotional journey. You can't see the magic that I just went through. I can't see yours. But I understand that you went through something. Right. So therefore I have respect and I have, compassion and empathy for you. And then as we get into the later series, we'll start working through having the bravery of communicating what those are to others. And that's a whole other thing.
So when it becomes an animated movie, can I audition?
Yeah, I think that would be a wise decision by me as a producer, I would think. I think that'd be a wise choice.
By the way, speaking of which, congratulations. Congratulations on what I've always loved about your career, even when you were on the court. And I remember that Spike Lee documentary, your attention to detail and your willingness to always constantly learn as the game evolved and as you evolved with the game and as you changed the game. And you're always constantly you always wanted to learn. And now that you're done with your playing career, you didn't just, hang out and be a broadcaster with Shaq and Chuck. You're actually going out there and you're doing some amazing things, and you're learning about all these things. You're learning about the film industry, about publishing, about podcasting. You have the Punies is great for kids. And so, I mean, I'm just so impressed with the fact that you're ready to now, after you've dominated basketball, it's not about dominating, but you just want to constantly evolve and grow as a person.
Well, don't you think that like in order to succeed, especially if we're like independent agents, like we sort of all are in this industry and in sports, that that curiosity is crucial.
It's the most important thing.
It's like you have to like, I want to know why, like whatever that foam, I don't really want to know why that foam absorbs sound.
But the general idea of it is there. Yeah. It's the curiosity. The things that you are curious about.
I want to know why you're not giving me your watch or your ring.
It's not.
I'm curious about that.
They're fake. It's okay.
Yeah. Listen, Kobe. I've worked hard to get where I'm at.
No, I got you.
Sitting right across from you.
I got you. Maybe we can work out a long program.
Okay. I'll be a voice. I'll audition.
Well, that's what we'll do. We'll do like a lifetime work for free in exchange for a loaning of some object.
All right. Would you be tempted yourself to get into podcasting? Like, how do you find the process?
And can we produce your podcast?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, like doing the Puny show for me, was the extent of that for me, like in terms of, doing something creative in the podcast space. I like, the novels, the Rolly B. Wizenard series, the challenge of making that a live action theater production. The next novel coming out, Legacy and the Queen, that being an animated film.
Being a live theater production. That's really cool.
There's just a lot of fun things. I mean, but like I look in the industry and I'm saying, okay, well, especially like in animation, there's like zero diversity in animation, and how do you do that? How do we give our young men and women out there to say, oh, there's another medium through which you can express yourself.
You're so right.
There's no color.
You're so right.
Like, winning an Oscar last year, for the short film Dear Basketball, you say, okay, you're the first African-American to ever win an Oscar for a short animated film. Like,
why?
How is that possible?
Yeah.
I don't how is that possible? It makes no sense. So how do we create other opportunities? How do we raise another generation of 2D animation artists? How do we teach those skill sets so that they understand that there are other forms of expression other than music or sports? So some of the things that you're kind of gravitating to, there's a whole other medium.
Yeah. What do you miss most about basketball?
Are
you like nothing?
Yeah, no, I would say nothing, but like the reaction. So like if I hit a game winning shot, you can see the reaction of the crowd. At home, either they love it, or on the road, they're like, damn it.
Yeah.
Fucking guy did it. Like that sort of thing. With stories, you don't get that. Like you release the story and then it's out there.
And you don't get that with single camera. I get I don't get nothing like what you experience, but because we shoot our show Mom in front of a live studio audience. Yeah. So we do get like the crowd feedback, which is thrilling.
Yes.
And I see you light up and I love that because
you can feel it.
It's like, fuck yeah. It's like, and in the camaraderie, in the energy that you feel with the audience and with your fans. But I do, and I wonder, like when I go do other projects eventually or whatever, how much I will miss, that live feedback.
It's
and
tough,
how addictive it is.
Because you want to see people respond to it and like you want to see them kind of groove with it or whatever the case may be.
I love it that you totally lit up when we talk about this. When you shot 82 points.
You gave me one more.
81,
I wish it was 82.
81.
It should have been 82. It should have been 82. I actually missed 2 free throws that game. Should have been 83.
It's my producer.
It was counting.
But wait, how far along in the season were you?
God, I think almost at the midpoint. So it was in January. So almost at the midpoint of the season. So
you're, exhausted.
Yeah.
But that must have just been like, you're just in the zone.
Yeah,
and
you
just
are.
Part of your brain, like, do you get to that place where you're, like, most of your brain is just checked out, and
you're not there.
It's like able to singularly focus on ball, hoop, the dance.
It's the feeling of when you do. So like in that summer, I worked so much like on the shots and like the same spots that I was going to be at during the game. I knew where those spots were going to be, and so I worked on those same shots thousands of times. So that whole season
So-
was like autopilot.
So what are your sweet spots then?
So like if you watch the game, the positions in which I was catching the ball, like by the free throw line area, like where the little elbow is, at the wing, at the low post, like those are my operation areas.
So did you have favor a side?
No,
Forgive me, Kobe.
No, I didn't want. So no, those are great questions because I didn't want to have a favorite side. I wanted both sides to be comfortable.
Yeah, you can't
force
peg
me
me.
anywhere. Anything you pick is the wrong pick. You know what I mean? And so working on those things over and over and over. So like, when you play, you just dissolve into the game. You don't have to like think through stuff because you've been through it so many times that
Right.
just you get out of your own way and boom, off you go.
That's amazing. I can't imagine. Did you study like your opponent? Like I don't know
Oh
how
God, yeah.
you're like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna fuck with that.
Oh,
He
my God,
thinks
yeah.
I'm gonna zig. I'm zagging.
Dude, no, it's like, cause it's such emotion. It's such an emotional game. So like, if you could understand those kind of inner, fears of the person that you're playing against, then you can use those against them, sort of thing.
Do you think it's more emotional than football?
They're about the same. Every sport's about the same. It's kind of like it depends on the emotion that you put into it is what you get back, I think.
But I do wonder if, like I said, knowing nothing, if the size of a football field and having essentially armor, it creates like a distance between, like as opposed to a basketball court where you are right there on the floor, and
Well, you have on basketball, you have a lot of players responsible for doing a lot of different things. In football, you have the defense, you have the offense, you have special teams. So you have 3 different phases. And so each phase are almost like their own individual team, so to speak. You know what I mean? And so it's very, very different. I mean, in football, you have to have multiple leaders.
right.
Somebody that's leading the special teams, leading the defense, captaining the offense, and then a head coach that's responsible for the entirety of it all. In basketball, it's not the case. Like, one player on the team can really affect the entire, the offense, the defense, and everything else in between.
And I also feel like football. I enjoy watching it. I don't know what's going on, but but it's arbitrary.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the rules sometimes it feels a little nonsensical at times. But I enjoy it for that fact. But I also appreciate basketball for its straightforwardness. It's a high scoring game, which I think numbs maybe an American audience. I kind of blame basketball for America's lack of interest in soccer.
Well, yeah, here's the thing though, but soccer's like football though. Like football, how many touchdowns are on a football game? A lot of times, how many goals are scored in soccer? We just score them differently. So like a soccer would be different if for every goal you get 6 points and then you get a penalty kick and then that's 7.
Yeah, but I don't think that it's film. Like the way it's shot, soccer.
Yeah,
it's
distant.
hard to. It's
very distant.
It's very hard to track. And
But they're
Listen,
shorter
Kobe.
games. They're like an hour and a half, and you're done.
Yeah, that's true. But in football, you have that the spirit of like
Yeah.
hitting someone. It's like, oh, you
Yeah.
got hooked
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? Like there's that. In soccer, there's a lot of ball movement and things like that, which is beautiful because I love watching soccer.
I can't. I was asking, not to bring up Terry Crews again, but I love him. But I was asking him about like what it's like to fucking throw your body
Yeah.
with everything you have against another body. Like I just physically.
I bet
couldn't
that's the
imagine.
equivalent of like Kobe slam dunking on someone.
Yeah, maybe right.
Right? How does that feel when there's a poster? That's going to be a
Yeah,
poster.
yeah, it feels good. It feels good. It's like it's like making a statement. You know what I mean? It's like an emotionally charged thing. Like it's like a
You
big
might get
dude.
jabbed in the eye.
Yeah, or you might get knocked on your ass. Like you know what I mean? It's just one or the other. It's like
All the perks.
yeah, all the fun stuff. All the fun. I remember going to basket against Yao Ming, and Yao Ming's like what, 7'6", but like wide too, and like massive. And I'm looking at him like, I'm going in there. I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, Kobe, I love
Yeah,
it.
it worked out. Thank you.
Kobe, thank you so much. I truly I can't thank you enough.
My pleasure.
Really, this is such a thrill.
Thank you.
Will you do me a favor? Will you say a quick happy birthday to my wife's grandmother?
fuck.
85th birthday. She's been a Lakers season ticket holder for decades. She's so excited that I'm here right now.
Yeah,
Her name is Linda.
Linda. Happy 85th birthday, Linda.
And happy
so
birthday
much.
for me too. I'm sorry, I was kind of a bitch.
You met her at my
I love
wedding.
Linda. Yeah, yeah. No, I know. I was being a jerk.
That's great.
Like when I get nervous, I throw Sim under the bus, and it's not kind of me. But anyway, Kobe, thank you.
Thank
again.
you
My
very
pleasure.
much.
Truly,
Thank you.
truly.
Thank you.